You know, it's funny. A lot of guys that I've talked to about cheap dating, they go, well, you know, you're like an older guy. How can you tell me about cheap dating? It's very simple. I made all those mistakes. Okay, everybody needs an Uncle Cheap Date, and I just want all the guys out there to know that I'm here for them. I've made all the mistakes. I'm going to make sure they don't make all the mistakes, and I'm officially adopting every single one of you who's watching or listening to my voice right now. You're my official nephews and in some instances nieces of Uncle Cheap Date. I'm going to teach you what Uncle Cheap Date knows so you can be a successful cheap date. Hi, I'm Bruce Brown, creator of the Cheap Date system. Now, you might ask yourself, what makes me an expert on cheap dating? Well, I don't know if I'm an expert, but I certainly have had my share of, let's say, unpleasant experiences spending too much money on dates. A little quick background on me. I'm a licensed private investigator. I've probably been on 1,000 dates easy. You ever have those experiences where you spent too much on a date? Could have been $50, $100, $200. One time I spent $300 on a date and found out later, not only did she have a boyfriend, she just liked the fact I was spending money on her. She had no interest whatsoever. That kind of stuff, I hope that'll never happen to you. Reason why I am talking to you is because I have made all the mistakes. I don't want you to make any of the mistakes I've made. So that's one of the reasons why I created the Cheap Date system. It's based upon a book that I did a few years back. I've now updated it. Now it's a digital system for inexpensive dating. Make sure you go to cheapdatesystem.com and sign up for my free newsletter. And let's see if we can't save you some money and some heartache. The money you have for dating, most of it should remain in your wallet. Cheap Date Notebook is a great way to keep track of things you come across. Like, let's say you come across an article or something on the internet where all winter long they're going to be having free concerts at a certain place, okay? So you want to make a note of that. You want to have a cheap date notebook where you will always have dozens and dozens of cheap date ideas at all times for different days of the week, different times, different money levels, whether it's zero money or $5 or $10 or whatever. You always want to have that information because some of these things you can use year after year after year, like maybe there'll be annual, concerts or annual events, and having a cheap date notebook, that sets you up for being able to have the information at your fingertips, and you won't be wasting time. You want to really use that. We're out of time. I just want to say thanks for watching. I'm Bruce Brown, creator of the Cheap Date system. And I want to remind you, if you haven't already signed up for my free newsletter, okay, my free Cheap Date newsletter, go to cheapdatesystem.com and do that. Also, it'll allow you to access some interesting articles on cheap dating. So you can look at those. And you can find out more about the Cheap Date system, which, as a friend of mine says, is a lot cheaper than most guys spent on their last 2 dates that didn't even get them a kiss goodnight at the door. So, thanks for watching. Looking forward to seeing you next time, and whatever you do, make sure you have fun, but make sure you're cheap dating.